coming up. Guys, as you can see, last week I had a mild mishap. So I kind of like, I'm back to the way you see, I got my hospital gown right here, and I'm gonna take it off because it's kind of hot right now. Guys, as you can see, last week I had but I thought it was be kind of funny because the show must go on, right? And Miss Carrie Paluro is under the weather right now, but everything has to be consistent with whatever we got going on. It shows that we can get through it. But today's topic, if you're not following along, right, is going to be something that adds to what she said last week, right? You know, this week's show is going to be when do you choose yourself? When do you actually choose yourself, both as a female side, as a male side? Because it's not going to come from your breakthrough coach. It's not going to come from another strategy. It might not even come from another man, another woman, something else that's going to, it'll come from finally choosing you. And that's when you're going to be able to attract your other partner. Where I say, I call it, I told Andrea, when you realize certain things that you've won the lottery in relationships, right? When you in the, do you feel, Carrie, that you won the relationship lottery?
Oh my God, yes. I,
Right?
I feel like I have met my match.
Right. But you attract and you attract the person that you become at the same time at your level.
Hmm.
And God, or whoever you believe in, puts that in a situation where, yeah, you can have that lifing partner, basically,
Hmm.
because that's, oh shit, that hurt.
Oh my God.
Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. Oh, I see. That's what I mean. But once you get all that situated, Carrie, if you're not following Miss Carrie, welcome, guys. My name is Gordon Watt from Boundaries of the Brotherhood, and my co-conspirator, my co-host, Miss.
Gary Polero.
While I get us technically set up, she's gonna give us what we're gonna be doing. Damn, I miss you guys. Oh, I'm still hurting. Shit.
Oh my God. Today we're
I'm
talking
laughing.
about when do you choose yourself? When do you choose yourself? And I think for me, choosing myself, it was like the moment that I stopped waiting for someone else to validate me. Like when I realized
Mm,
that I could validate me, like I'm the only one that's going to be there with me this whole time. The only one that won't
absolutely.
abandon myself.
That's that's deep.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like I'm the only one that's going to live with myself 24 hours a day for the rest of my life. Nobody else is going
Like
to do it.
nobody realize takes that in consideration because they think they're gonna be around people for all their lives and stuff like that, and they seek that outside validation.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question: how does it, guys? If you're not following Miss Carrie Pellero, if you like this type of content on TikTok, go on to the YouTube, watch us on live, and figure out how we can get you. And leave us a comment over there because this is the type of stuff that's relevant in today's marketplace, your workplace, and help you relationship in business, sales, and your personal relationships, right? Because a lot of times you don't understand that, like Carrie said, you're the only person going to be okay with yourself. Whether you attract the right person or not is going to be up to you, right?
Yep.
And if you're not following along with her, she has the most deepest posts because you can tell how somebody internalized all the information that she's been given to create this lifestyle. I mean, explain explain how is it for you as a woman, right? Choosing peace over proving.
Oh, man. I think that started with just like walking away from a different version of me, an older version of me. Um,
Explain that. Ooh.
because the older version of me was so addicted to the proving and
Hmm.
walking away from that version that was afraid of my own standards, of boundaries, of knowing deep inside of me, like what was my truth, but being afraid to go there to express it. So, I mean, I think that that's where it started was walking away from the older version of me.
Does the older version of you come in different phases, or is it this one day? Because if you put it, you've put in a lot of work into yourself. I know that because
Yeah.
you can tell how you walk, talk, post, everything from how it was. Forget what I knew you from the past, but at the same time, how does it make you feel now? Because you're coaching other people now.
Oh man. I think, well, I know you don't, as for me, I do not realize how far I've come until I start working with people. And then I'm like,
Oh,
oh, wow. Like, okay, I remember when I did that. I remember when I thought that.
yes.
Cool. Okay. And it feels so good because it's like, now I see my growth and I know I am fully equipped to help this person, period.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I'm for once over the years seeing the transformation from afar, right? And that's why I would never stop applauding you for putting in all that work, whether you were stressing for money, where you were angry, where you were looking for some sort of purpose or something like that. Because look at the outcome now. The outcome is simply amazing because that's why I can tell from your post it's not surface. You're not just saying it. That's how I
Mhm.
can tell it's not just from because once you prove to yourself and start validating yourself and hey, what's up, Chris? That you can figure out that you don't have to prove nothing to yourself but yourself. A whole path changes. You kind of like even attract different type of people, clientele, because what does a coach do? Right? A mentor does something else. A coach does something. The coach finds your potential and brings it out of you as the best they can from their knowledge from the past.
Mm.
And that's what you do. And that's what you've done even for yourself because you have the tools. What happens if you didn't have the tools?
I wouldn't be doing this.
No, but give me an example, like because there came a shift one time when you said, I'm going to choose myself and said, screw this, something has to change. Just like for me, something had to change. Do you remember the exact moment or, something that kind of like, this is where the path is going to go?
Yeah, yes. And it was a specific conversation. I remember I was
No
having a
way.
conversation with a mentor and she said, and I was brand new to like doing any kind of work on myself. And and I was always complaining. I was complaining about life wasn't going
Wait,
right,
don't make me laugh. No.
relationships weren't going right. Oh my God, like my work wasn't going right. Like there was just so much shit happening that wasn't going right. And she said to
Okay.
me, wow, this is so great because you're the common denominator in every single situation. So you know that you can fix it. And I was like, oh shit, she's right. I am. And it had never occurred to me that I was the common denominator and I had the ability to shift all of that. And it was because I had never worked on myself before. And it was the lack of personal responsibility because I wasn't willing to accept personal responsibility for my life at that time until that moment when I was like, oh, wow, I really am powerful.
But how many coaches or mentors have you been through before until that one click? Because different phases, different life, different situations, then something finally, even like for sales and business, right?
Mhm.
You could fail in business, you could do all these other things, you could go on a path. That book or that situation might hit different through the years,
Yeah.
even though it's the same thing, right?
Mhm.
How did that work out? Or, you know, explain how that became the way how you chose yourself versus outside validation.
You mean how I mean, I think it was just that conversation alone. It
Mm,
reminds me because I go back to that conversation a lot, and it's really funny. And I
okay.
actually
Yes.
say those words to some of my clients. How are you the common denominator? Because it allows you to take everybody else out of the equation, and realize that it's me. And I go back to every time something is happening in my life, I realize that it's not if coming from responsibility, how do I get to own the situation if I want things to change? If I'm not happy where I'm at, I want things to change, then it's me. It's always me. The answer is always me, period.
How hard is that to actually admit, though?
Well, it's a lot easier today, but in the beginning it was hard
Right.
because I made it mean something about me. I made it mean that I was inadequate and that I
Can't
didn't
do
know how
this.
to
It's stop making me
choose.
laugh.
I did, man, I made it mean all kinds of shit, like that I was wrong. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to function in life. And um, yeah, but when you get past the ego part of it all, and it's just like, okay, cool. I can get
Ego.
there so much faster now. Okay, cool. So what can I do?
Right, right, right. Guys, if you're wondering why I have my hospital gown, because I just had my appendix taken out. I had to drive myself to the ER like
I
4 days ago. But let's see. Big, 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 big.
This is wild. And you're still here, Gordon. I acknowledge you.
Right? Because this is why I have this hospital gown because I had to figure out a way to kind of like I had to drive myself to the ER, take out my appendix, and oh, you was this close from it being burst. This is why I have this on, guys. So just to let you know. But the show must go on. That's right.
Commitment.
The Carrie and Polerio show must go on this Tuesday because a lot of people look forward to it. Leave us a comment on the YouTube channel because this is where we're going to start answering questions in 2020. The next year, 2026, there's going to be a live so much shift. Let me ask this another question, right? How does alignment over attention work for you?
Alignment over attention. Alignment over attention. Well, now today, like I know what's for me. Attention is when I'm seeking something outside of myself, but alignment is like where I know it inside and I'm like, oh, okay. I know that this is for me because I can feel it within me. Because like it's so true. Like where my attention goes, my energy flows too, right? Like, and I know you've heard that a million times, but my life will build momentum when I seek the alignment rather than the outside validation.
Give me even like for me situation once you start like everybody like guys you have boys you want to impress somebody you want to do this once you start stopping that stuff that outside validation and you pick yourself first you start attracting different type of people
Yeah.
because they're curious you have confidence you command respect you do a lot of different things from a woman's point of view how does that attract you as a woman
Say that one more time.
right? When a man picks himself, he has some
Yeah.
boundaries and certain things, right? Like in one of her posts, if you want to follow Miss Carrie Polero on Facebook and social media, she has some good stuff where attracting the kind of man who leads the doors and deeply respects you starts with what you're finally willing to walk away from,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that comes from a woman's point of view, you're looking for somebody that has respect. And then another post she had where, be ready at 6. I'm controlling everything.
Yeah.
That's you know what I mean? But you're also a controller.
Yeah, that's been a challenge.
Shit.
And I'm telling you, like sometimes I totally bomb at this, but I think it's so attractive to see a man who chooses himself, right? And can make clear, concise decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the most attractive things in the world, I'm telling you. Because when he knows what he wants, when he says no to the things that drain him, and and then he doesn't try to like people please me, right? It's like that's attractive because I can see that he knows how to regulate himself, and then that's emotional maturity.
Oh,
You know what I
that's
mean?
that's deep. That's good. That you can spot that emotional maturity a mile away versus playing the little boy game, right?
Yes, because if he can choose himself, then that means he can choose me from fullness, not from emptiness. He's not seeking the outside validation from me either. It goes
Yeah,
both ways.
because I was just about to say because from there both ways it won't affect because like if he can choose you, then I can find my place in the system or the lifestyle. Then that kind of work because now I don't
Mhm.
become a nagger, I don't become a whiner, I don't become less of a man. And it's like even though say it's not financial or anything else, it can be other things, right?
Mhm.
So let me ask you this other one now. How does it compare from self-respect over potential? Because this is all your words now.
From self-respect to potential.
Yes.
Um, so I think that like at that point you're choosing from like I'm walking away from this and that whole post was about me walking away from a specific version of me,
Yes.
especially from the version of me that was like afraid of creating boundaries. That's where the self-respect comes in, right? Um, like I would allow fear to be, I would be so afraid to make choices, but I would claim that fear was flexibility. right? Like I would lower my standards under like this illusion of being understanding, or I didn't want to be too much, right? I wanted to be flexible. I wanted to make sure that I was giving them options, right? But it didn't work for me.
I was
That
just
does
about to say, how did that work?
no, that doesn't work. That's like such a mismatch, right? Like because every time I would rationalize any type of inconsistency, then I'm just teaching myself that uncertainty is normal. So like I'm giving them all of these options. I don't know if they're going to choose me. I'm hoping that they choose me. It's this pick me energy, right? And I'm setting myself up to be in this energy of uncertainty all the time. And so my nervous system's on high alert. I'm doing it to myself, but I think it's them.
So how do you coach these women, right, to understand that?
Oh my gosh. We spend a lot of time on boundaries.
I mean, that's you
I
need them.
mean, boundaries is a big thing.
Yeah, look at the channel.
Yeah.
This is what me. I mean, it's you need them, and if you don't have them, you're just gonna keep sailing around in a circle, and eventually just go down the tube.
Yeah, and boundaries are not a bad thing. I think for me, when I was growing up, I kept thinking that boundaries were rude and they weren't the polite thing to do,
Right.
and realizing that boundaries are about me loving myself. It's really that
Okay.
simple.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for me, boundaries as a man, especially when you're coming from a criminal lifestyle, right? Boundaries is what keeps you alive.
Yeah.
Boundaries are what keeps you alive. And I know it's kind of extreme to a lot of it, but boundaries will keep you alive, especially when you're on, like, say, a big yard, or you're in prison, and you don't have that hierarchy and stuff like that. Even in the gang
Mhm.
life, it won't work because boundaries keep you having some sort of integrity. If not, you're going to be with the animals, right? Because
Yeah.
if you have no boundaries, now when you explain boundaries to women, like, say, I mean, me and Carrie were just talking about this earlier. The women that work in sales, where they're in corporate, but they don't have no boundaries, and they don't have a giving, or what do you call that, enlightening. How does it work for them, personally and professionally?
Mm. I think they get to have, we have to do a total overhaul on the way that they think about boundaries, right? Because what I have found is if they don't have any boundaries in their business, they don't have any boundaries at home in their personal life. And it's
Oh,
shifting that mindset that boundaries don't push people away from you. They are actually protecting you. And they're not walls to keep people out. It's not you being rude. You are not you're not pushing people away. It's boundaries are just kind of like gates that allow certain people in and certain people out, right? That's it.
I
It's
like
real
that.
simple. Yeah.
I like that analogy of it, because if you don't, it's not being like a cock blocker or gatekeeper or anything like that, right? But
No.
it's it's a matter of, you need to have boundaries for your own self-respect. If you start
Yes.
crossing those lines in business, in relationships, in sales, it kind of commingles. You also are confused with a lot of things, because it's that energy will roll over into your personal life, and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Um, and I think when it comes to teaching about boundaries, I got to remember that a lot of women that have difficulty with boundaries are people pleasers. And so it's letting them understand that when you set a boundary, you're not being cold, you're not being controlling, you're communicating your capacity, period. So you're showing someone how to show up for you, how to love you, how to be in your life. That's it. It's not something difficult. I think growing up as a people pleaser, we are taught that boundaries we want people to like us. So boundaries mean you're going to piss some people off. And when you're a people pleaser, that's the last thing you want to do. You're so afraid of people getting upset because then they're not going to like you. They may not love
Right,
you again. And so
right.
that attacks your nervous system. And then that's uncertainty.
Yeah, I mean, that's from last week's talk, where it's the uncertainty of everything else, and the
Hmm.
nervous system, how you're looking at that viewpoint.
Yeah.
But can you explain, you know, for me because like you said, boundaries used to be a bad word. As when we was growing up, your boundaries, oh, you can't cross that line over there because certain things. Oh, you can't do this situation because you're gonna be bad or anything. Boundaries is self-protecting your self-love, actually choosing you for the first time in your life.
Yeah.
Because if you don't choose you and you become a people pleaser, guess what's going to happen, guys? You're going to get ran over for the rest of your life. And it's built on usually some sort of trauma that you never figured out yet.
Yeah. 100%. Boundaries keep you in integrity with yourself. And
Right.
that's it. It's like they keep the resentment when you're in integrity with yourself, you keep resentments from building up. You keep the self-abandonment away because when you abandon yourself and go into people-pleasing mode, then that's like that's the silent killer of connection right there, period. Boom. Because you're disconnected from yourself at that point.
Right. Now let me rephrase this now. How does setting boundaries, choosing yourself, like the title of our show today, right?
Hmm.
How does it pertain to letting your partner lead, like your man lead? He says
Mm.
you can attract a man who holds you when you're still gripping control like it's your own safety net. That is
Okay.
so deep, right? That is, to me, that is so deep because you don't
Yeah.
realize it until you can put that in words. And this is where Me and Miss Polero, like, I can spot those things. Sometimes she don't even know. Sometimes you don't even know that you're doing it. But how does that relate or correlate?
I believe that boundaries they do not block a man's leadership. They actually guide it, they allow it. So when a woman has no boundaries, she doesn't actually let him lead. She forces him to guess.
That's
And
that's bad.
and no man can lead when he's walking on eggshells, when he's unsure of what's allowed. Like that's unattractive. And so be like the boundaries create the safety for that leadership to exist because a man can only lead when he knows that the woman beside him is self-led, when she honors herself
Give
and
me,
she
give me, give
respects
me
herself.
that. Give me a deep. Give me an example of that. How you enable, or what's happening is what you see with your clients. Because I know you're working with a bunch of ladies now, a new one, a new group.
Mhm.
What is the one that's standing out? What's standing out? Because let's say, like you were saying before, I see myself in these women, right?
Mhm.
Give me an example how that relates to, like, say, choosing yourself, drawing those boundaries. Like you said, what you said earlier hit me because it's like, okay, if I'm guessing on what Andrea wants, that's a bad feeling, right? Because you have no assertive communication, you don't have to communicate. And once you have a man start guessing, even like a woman start guessing, eventually it's going to deteriorate.
Mhm.
How does that correlate? Or how does that make it happen?
So what examples that I've seen, and I'm going to use like a pretty extreme example so that like it can
Oh, we
land,
love
right?
extreme. You know that.
Like when she says, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself because you always mess it up anyway. Like how would you
Mm-mm.
feel? How would you feel? That's a
I'd be like,
fucking wall.
I'd be like,
Like defenses, right?
right,
Like
right.
that's control. Like I'm trying to control the whole situation. I don't trust you. I don't trust you to get it right. I'm going to stay in charge. And then how would you respond to that? We probably withdraw. You feel unsupported. It's like you're not attracted to that woman, whoever she is, right? Now you're killing polarity. Like there's so many things that happen in that like that one sentence.
Right, 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 right. That's like, holy smokes. You mean, even like for me, when you just said it, like I got a like some sort of like ugh.
Yes. Right. Now, listen, I used to say shit like that all the time. Like, I mean, those were the words that would come out of my mouth because I was just kind of like, no, I mean, I totally got this. I don't need you to F shit up, right? That is so uninviting for a
Right.
man to come into your space. And I couldn't understand. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a great catch. Why are men like repelled by me? Well, holy shit.
Right, right, right.
It's
But at
like,
the same time, you're thinking choosing yourself is coming from a different angle.
right, right. I'm thinking that I'm like, well, let me just choose myself here and I'll handle it because he needs to know that I'm responsible and that I'm capable. But that energy behind it didn't say that. The energy behind that
Yes.
was, I can do it better than you. It was a competition energy. That's what it was.
Would
Competition
it,
energy.
would that also be how you have on your pose, walking away from your obsession, trying to be chosen when you're actually doing the wrong behaviors? Say if it was
Mm,
the dating scene, right? Or like say you're in a relationship with your husband and wife and stuff, you start acting like this. That's not an obsession, like you said, that's control. But how do you
right.
uh rectify that situation?
Through some clarity. Um, I think it's recognizing that boundaries don't mean I don't need you. They mean I know myself enough to tell you how to love me well. And I know a lot of people think, well, you're making it all about you, but it's about choosing me, right? It's like when I can lead myself through clarity, then a healthy man feels safe enough to lead through the direction, right? Like, so when I'm clear,
Okay.
I can invite him in. I That's when his power meets like softness, right? And then that also creates polarity there as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Because
makes that makes
if you think about the statement that I made earlier about doing it all myself, like that didn't feel soft. It didn't feel soft. I mean, I know if
yeah, not
somebody
at
came
all.
at me with
Right.
that energy, I'm like, I don't know who you are, but I don't even really want to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, because this is so great because I get to ask advice because I mean sometimes when you're in a relationship you're gonna have energies like that and words be said. Now I know where it comes from. This is why me and Carrie we talk from both sides. We talk from the woman's side, from my side, what she wants. She even asks me hard questions because sometimes she wants to know, right? And this is what's so good because when you start choosing yourself and you want to find answers, a lot of times it's not all about, say, um, finding the energy that just shifts everything for the wrong reasons, right?
Mhm.
Because no, you could be already spiraling into the abyss already, or you're not even calculating what you're worthy, or all this crap that goes on. What are you doing about it? Is what the question is, right? Now, the version of you that's watching this video, watching this live, watching this thing, or leaving a comment on stuff that still uses independence as an armor, you might need some help, right?
Yeah.
You say you want partnership, you say you want love, you say you want secretly you want to keep people at their arms. And this is why I see, a lot of the shows that I watch is like, okay, they want to be independent, but they want to be also part of the feminist movement, but they don't want to be feminine at all. Look at your
Yeah.
eyes. Because Miss Polaro used to be one of them. And I
You know,
hate you guys to laugh, but it's just the energy. Like, I'll give you a story. I call up Miss Polaro one day. That guy called me, oh, I thank you for calling me, this and that. And she just like, I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened? Right? But I see where she was coming from. And it's like the same type of energy, the demanding, this is my situation, the complaining, they're risky. I've got it handled, but I still want answers. Which one is it?
oh my God, I remember that conversation and I was like, I didn't know how to receive. Like I'm sitting here thinking about it right now and I'm like, oh, cringing. Yeah, because I didn't know how to receive. And it was
Correct.
like you were like, I'm just showing up to help you. Like, how can I support you? And I'm like, okay, let me tell you all the stuff that's wrong. And I just don't even know what to do because I was so focused on the problems and also I didn't want to be vulnerable
You want
and
it to be
share.
tough at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Want to
get it.
be
I got
absolutely. Yeah. But that was just where I was at back then. That was so
it.
great.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing because look at yourself now,
Yeah.
right? If anybody could do well, let's take. I'll give you the thing. If I can see when I have my speakers speak at the nonprofit and stuff like that, right? I know who has changed and who has not. They can't get over it because I can see it in their eyes. I can see by their actions, their behaviors, what they say, how they internalize it. With you, I knew what phase you was in at that time.
Yeah.
I knew. It's just okay. Even but now when you look at the status that you're in now with the loving relationship, choosing yourself, drawing on boundaries, sharing it with other women and men on this channel and stuff like that, you've built an identity that solidifies your future.
Mm.
And you didn't even know it. Right?
No, I think of how confused I was during that conversation. I had no idea what direction I was going. And
Yeah.
I think the biggest difference was as much as I was appreciative of your support in that moment, I didn't know how to receive it because I didn't feel that I was worthy or I deserved it.
Oh,
That, I
wow.
mean, it was a lot. Like I had so much stuff going on internally that I hadn't processed yet.
But the thing that was so cool was I knew the type.
Yeah.
I knew where you came from.
Yes, you were so kind. You were like so kind and caring in that moment. And I was just like, wow. I remember leaving the conversation like I could breathe. Like, oh my gosh, that wasn't like what I was so tense.
Oh, you was livid.
Yeah.
But you didn't choose yourself. You choose the act of what you seen
Yeah.
from other people. You wanted to get that.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
where I have that thing with, because even I have other friends in your situation, in our situation, that, you know what I mean, now they're directors of programs, and they'll do, but, explain, let me go walk, let me walk you through this post that you have, walking away from the woman who scrolls like his stories. If you're in the dating scene, it's like research who screenshots all this stuff, texts for validation, lets her nervous system get confused for chaos and chemistry. But you put here, it's not passion, it's dysregulation. Explain that to a woman going through it right now, or a guy who's second guessing this woman that might be doing this to him.
Oh my God. This is actually such a great talking point. I talk to so many people about this. Um, because I used to do this. Like all of a sudden I'd become like this deep FBI investigator, right? Like
Oh, what they do.
let me scroll his Instagram stories like I'm on their fucking payroll. Like I'm gonna check out who liked what. I'm gonna zoom in on these comments and read them into something that they're not, right? Like there's secret coded messages. Like, and I'm
Holy
gonna
smokes.
tell myself it's intuition. And all the
No,
all
you made an excuse for it too.
oh, I'm like, oh, it's intuition. Yes, it's my intuition. It's telling me. And I remember, the same mentor that I had that conversation with, she was like, "No, you know what that is? That's you looking for evidence to explode some shit. That's what it is, and you're gonna
They're gonna
find
put a
it."
bomb in there.
Oh yeah, she's like, "You're gonna find it no matter what. Tell me, what are
Yep.
you looking for?" And I said, "Well, this is what I'm feeling." And she's like, "Right, and that's what you're gonna find, whether it's true or not, because that's the lens you're looking for. That's it."
Let me ask you this now.
Mhm.
Guys, if you're a guy listening to this from our side, what do you tell the guys about a woman that used to do like that does that? What should they do? Wait, don't make me laugh. Come on, my stitches. Come
Fucking run. Uh,
on.
just get out while you can.
What? That's right.
No, if they're
Holy
both
crap.
open, to doing the work, it's letting him know, look, her nervous system is really addicted to chaos. So
Okay. Okay.
if you're both committed to doing the work, it can absolutely happen, right? It's just it really is about the level of commitment. Um, but you both get to choose into it. That's the reality of it all.
I mean,
And if you're not willing to choose in, then just choose out because
that's
you're going to go down a road that is just miserable.
oh, okay, okay. And then this speaking from a person that did this to me,
Yeah.
but found her to
Yeah, for sure.
but I mean, but that's a big commitment. I mean, that's a very big commitment. Say you're not married. say you're not in a committed relationship and he's like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna make it work out, I'll take a chance with this person. That's ridiculous. But that's just kind of funny to me.
Well, it's
My
true.
glue stitches are gonna come out.
What I learned about that was like the evidence, it wasn't out there, right? The evidence was inside me because I already had this belief that he was going to behave a certain way, and that's all the evidence I needed. So I would just go and find shit and make it mean something so it added to the evidence that I wanted to prove. Yeah, it was like insane. But when you're secure within yourself, you don't need to investigate every single man because you know your truth. You read energy, right? Uh,
Okay, okay.
you can feel it within yourself, and you know that if something's off, that it'll be addressed. You won't obsess over it. You don't have time for that because you're clear on where you're going. Like I said, she has clarity.
Okay. Even like when me and Doc talk about this type of situation, right? How does when you lower the bar because you're scared that he or she will leave you, but you don't make it easy, how do you rationalize the inconsistency of it all?
Well, I mean, when I lower the bar, what I'm really doing is I'm like, hey, 6-year-old me, why don't you go ahead and here, take the wheel and start driving, even though you don't have a driver's license, you don't know where the hell we're going, and you've never done
Oh,
this
I like
before.
that analogy.
You know what I
That's
mean?
a good
We're
analogy.
guaranteed to have a fucking crash, and it could be fatal. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna blow
Yeah,
some
no,
shit
it's
up.
gonna be fatal. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's exactly what I do whenever I'm lowering my standards. And if I look at it from that perspective, then it's like, okay, cool. I would never let a 6-year-old drive the car ever. Why would I do that? She's definitely going to crash. So I get to be the adult. I get to drive. She can sit in the passenger seat. I can let her know where we're going. And hey, you can just chill out. I got this, you know?
So, but even like for that, that's the perfect analogy. You won't let your 6-year-old self drive the car, but you let the 6-year-old, if you don't catch it, drive your relationship and hope for the best.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, when you put it in that aspect, even for guys, I mean, most guys they want to think with their other head, but it's like it's different because, you know, their need to procreate and everything else is embedded in them. But that's a young man's game,
Hmm.
right? When you
Yeah.
start looking at say certain things as you start getting up in age, especially like the women you're helping now, they're at a certain age. What are they wanting from the conversations, the necessity, the the I guess would say the do they want relationships after you get, or some of them are done?
I think I have a good mix of both. Like, I think, yes, there are women that absolutely want to be in relationship, and there are women that realize, a lot of women that are in my space right now realize, look, I would love to be in a relationship. However, I do realize I have some growth. Now, they put their growth first. Like, am I really equipped to handle a relationship right now? And are you ever really equipped? I mean, I think that's the bigger
I was just
question.
about to say.
Like you aren't going, so for myself, I took time for me to work on me and then got into relationship. And I mean, in fact, I actually, when I started working on myself, I was in a relationship at the time, and that blew
Right.
up. And after that, I was like, okay, cool. I get to commit to myself first because I don't want to blow up anything again. I don't want to hurt anybody. Like I get to
Right.
just, including myself, like I get to be responsible. And so from there, moving forward, it was just kind of like, okay, now
I mean,
I can do both like in conjunction with each other. That's the
right.
only way I'm gonna learn. Like I did think though, I had a misconception in the beginning. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna do all this work and I'm gonna be healed. And then I am gonna go in as the master of relationships. Like I am gonna be the best
You
partner.
think you're
And
gonna be the shit?
I'm gonna be the shit. And then I get into a relationship and I'm like, oh, because all of this stuff is like activated and I'm like, oh my God. And then the next thing you know, it's like the 6-year-old takes over. Like, you know.
Right. But it's even like for me if you was to tell me I was to be get married, I say you crazy, right? But when you look at when I'm gonna give you the bigger picture of it. When you're sitting in a hospital bed
Mhm.
with the same exact gown, with all this crap attached to you. You know, there's certain things that you kind of realize and stuff like that. And I've had a lot of life-changing moments from being shot at, shooting at people, kidnapping, all this other kind of stuff like that. People putting on fire, shooting at, you know, all this good stuff, right? I call it. You realize that, you know, you have to find a partner because what if I was alone? Right? What if I was alone? Yeah, you could say, yeah, I got my kids, I got a month stuff, but you always need that someone. And you know, you kind of like look at it like for you, if something was to happen to you, Carrie, you would have Abel. He would have you. In no questions asked, whatever's up. You start to realize like the life-changing moments you had has built you up to the standard that you are today.
Mhm.
And you know, I mean, being alone, or like say being a cat woman, you know, it's like some people they want to accept, they want to be kept, they want to do the career, but then deep down, they want security with somebody else,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
And then you realize, I mean, even like for me as a guy, it's like, wait, I don't get. Even when I was in prison, I didn't get a visit for past 10 plus years.
Mhm.
So I equipped myself to just be alone. But when you finally realize that, you know, the boundaries that you created, the work that you put in yourself is all worth it, when, all right, now you have a lifetime team player,
Mhm.
right? Then you know you've succeeded in life, right? And then you take away the monetary thing and all the stuff, the success, it's irrelevant at the same time. But, you know, a lot of times when that happens,
Mhm.
how do you feel about that with where you came by choosing yourself?
You mean as far as having the security of someone else?
Yes.
I think it allows you to open up from a different when you know that you can hold yourself, um, and that you're secure within yourself, and you're open up to someone else. You know, there you find the security in their consistency, in being feeling safe enough to express your emotions, knowing that you can soften around this person and still be met, right? Like still be held, still be met. It, it's the independence you realize it was a shield. You were using the independence as a shield and like not allowing like no one could penetrate that, right? So once you begin to like let go and relax, it's like, oh man, this feels good. You don't even realize how tense you are.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I mean, because this is why it's good to come up from different angles, right? When you have
Yeah.
somebody like Miss Polero that has put in so much work into yourself to actually guide people, to guide women in all aspects, so have I, right? To be able to bounce off ideas between me and her, between not wanting anything else but good conversation and good advice. It helps because I'm going to tell you this. She helps me as much as I help her in a way that nobody else can see. If you're viewing this and you want to work with Miss Polero, reach out because you might have a committal relationship that might be going astray that she can guide, right? She's been through it.
Yeah.
Now, with the closing remarks, like the best one was like, if you had a girl good partner going through this, just run. Oh crap! Wait! Stop making me laugh. I'm making myself laugh. Damn it! Right? What would you tell? What would you tell other people or other women in your situation that that keeps saying you want a man,
Mhm.
but still entertains confusion, inconsistency, and emotional breadcrumbs? And we'll end with that.
Stop pretending you don't need anyone. Like, because that's what it is. You're just
Simple,
letting fear run the show. You can keep
simple.
convincing yourself that your independence is your power, but your real power is in your ability to receive and let people in and be supported and feel safe in someone's presence. And that means cutting off all the people that breadcrumb you or that are. And what's crazy is like that part feels safe in the beginning, right? Because that's so what she's accustomed to. Like the nervous system is so used to that. It's like that high alert. And because the man is feeding into that, it's like, oh, this is my normal. Let me keep going down that path. But it's like, no, no, that's not what I want. Like it's getting that clarity of this is what I want and this is what I'm only available for, period. Because when you finally stop proving that you can do this all alone, then you're going to create space for the kind of love that, and the kind of relationship that just reminds you that you don't have to be by yourself. Like that's the security. That's what your heart wants.
That's freaking amazing. That whole end them statement was the show, was the slam dunk, was everything that all that's what me and Miss Carrie work about. Because, you know, if you're not in alignment with yourself, right, you're gonna be out of alignment with a lot of different things down your in your life, business, sales, coaching, relationships, with everything else. Carrie, it's time for me to take my medication.
Thanks for being on today.
I mean, we still must go on, guys. If you want to work with Miss Carrie Palero, please reach out to me on social media. If you're a man, if you're a professional man looking for guidance in both your professional life and your home life, that's why we have me and Doc. We're gonna put everything together, coming in the new season, 2026, and we're gonna just I have things lined up already, right? So now we're gonna have Doc, myself, Miss Carapiller, and some other guests that's gonna be coming on that you see already online. But I want to say, hit that like button, hit that share button for somebody else. I'm going to walk from Boundaries and Brotherhood, right? Join our school community. There's gonna be a lot of things going on there. All the courses, all the PDFs, everything's gonna be on there. And hit us up. Carrie, end that show, please.
Oh, I'm Carrie Polero. Come back next week. We will see you next Tuesday.
All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Boop, boop. Oh, man, this thing is killing me right there. So you know what's interesting to me? They're in sales, but I don't know, like
It's wild.